In this video, we will learn how to customize the default settings for designer pages. Configuring your page defaults is a good way to ensure consistency of your styling. Once the default settings are configured, all new content and filters will reflect them, regardless of whether they are added at design time or at runtime using the Add Content button. These settings are available from the Page Defaults dialog box. It contains two tabs, Content and Filters, each corresponding to the area for which the defaults can be set. You can access the Page Defaults dialog box in one of two ways: by clicking the Edit Page Defaults link on a Page Settings pane, or by navigating through the ellipsis icon inside the Filters tab on the sidebar and clicking View Edit Filter Defaults. Notice that depending on where you click, a different tab is in focus inside the Page Defaults dialog box. Let's change the styling defaults for the page content. Click the Content tab inside the Page Defaults dialog box and modify the theme setting. In our example, we're choosing the Vivid theme. You also have an option to select a custom theme and make it a default one. Optionally, select the Apply to All Current Content checkbox if you want the existing content on the page to reflect the new setting. Now add a new content item to the canvas. As you can see, the content theme corresponds to the selection you just made. To make a different choice, click the page header to invoke the Page Settings pane, then click the Edit Page Defaults link. Choose a different theme and select the Apply to All Current Content checkbox to make sure the current items are also affected by this change. Click OK. All existing content on the canvas is updated to reflect the new default theme. Now let's set the default settings for the filters. You can do it in two ways: from the Filters tab on the sidebar and directly from the filter grid. Click the ellipsis icon on the upper right corner of the Filters tab of the sidebar, and then click View Edit Filter Defaults. The Page Defaults dialog box opens displaying the Filters tab. Here you have a choice of settings you can configure, such as label position, label alignment, label control split, and control object width. In our example, we're changing the label position to label left. If we had any filters on the canvas, we could select the Apply to All Used Filters checkbox to have this change applied to them. But we don't, so we simply click OK. Add some of the filters to the page. Observe that the styling of your filters reflects the choice you just made. Now let's change the default filter styling directly from the grid. Using this method, you can override the existing default styling that you configured earlier. Right-click a filter control and click View Edit Filter Defaults. Let's change the label position back to label above and click OK. Add the remaining filters to the page. Notice that the new filters display the new styling. You can now make one of the following choices. Right-click the previously added filters and click Apply Default Styling to match them to the new filters on the page. Or right-click one of the previously added filters and click Save Filter Style as Default to ensure that all subsequent filters added to the page will match the styling of this filter. Finally, if you want to quickly change all existing filters on the page to match this new default styling, go to Page Defaults again, select the Apply to All Used Filters checkbox, and click OK. You can also multi-select filter controls on the page, right-click either one of them, point to View Edit Filter Defaults, and change filter defaults for these items. Or you can click Apply Default Styling to change the multi-selected items to the existing filter default. Notice that the Save Filter Style as Default option is inactive when you multi-select filter controls. To learn more, search for TIBCO Web Focus at docs.tibco.com.